Yo, what's up? I go by 20 Pads on the internet. I've been mixing for 4 years, and I also run a school community, Simple Mixes. Check it out, link down below. Today I'm just going to be talking about my process for checking my mix, specifically using the plugin Isolate. Let's get it. Now, what is it? I've been using this plugin for a couple months now. It's by WA Productions. The way I use it is super simple. I just use it to check the balance of my mix. So within the plugin are these buttons to solo or mute certain areas of the sound spectrum. You are able to change what these filters cover in the plugin, but I just leave it default. I think it does what it's designed to do very well. Now, this plugin is super helpful for checking the tonal balance of the mix, making sure that the mids are present, identifying which sounds should be turned up or down, if they need more compression, more specific multi-band compression just in that area, or more specific EQ, or they just need to be leveled better. One thing that I think is pretty cool is that instead of just soloing just one section on the top layer, as I'll provide a picture and that you can see the top part, you can just mute certain areas and have everything else playing. So it's also pretty helpful for that, because when you do that, you can just boom, take it out and have everything else playing. And then when you add it back, if specifically with the mids, there should be an energy change and everything kind of just coming out. Everything should just come out of your playback system better, like jumping out. That's the way I would describe it. Now, after using this, you'll be able to identify if sound needs to be leveled better, if a certain area needs to be EQ'd with more or less dB in that specific area, or if it just needs to be compressed more or compressed only in that region with a multi-band compressor. There's been plenty of times where I've used this plugin and I'm instantly able to identify problems. Some common ones that I run into are just my mids not being loud enough, like they just need to stick out a little bit more, or seeing that my highs are too loud and a specific area of the highs needs to be turned down a bit, like the hi-hats. Now, what I really like using this plugin for is the low mids and making sure that my mids are in check. And getting the low mids right will help your mids and highs stick out better without actually leveling, like increasing volume in that area. And usually this is around 250. It's called frequency masking. So making sure that your low mids are really in check and not just overly muddy or like hollow. I would describe it as hollow sounding, kind of in that 500 area. Really helps everything else to stick out better, and they should just be like a gentle guide, I would say. I don't know if that's the best word to use, but just like a guide underneath everything else that just supports everything. And depending on what genre, obviously your bass might need to be more higher or lower, depending on that. Just depends on the genre. Me personally, I like my bass to just be kind of supporting but also be noticeable. That makes sense. So like I said earlier, my low mids are really my problem area that I've focused on probably the most, which is like that 250 to like 600 or 700, making sure that is in check and nothing is overly sticking out where it shouldn't. That is where my attention mainly goes usually. Plugin that's kind of similar to this plugin but not really is God Particle. But what I mean by that is that with that, it will literally tell you, like it will give you specific targets for your low, mids, and highs. Now that mid target is really important because it's really out there, and that's what makes everything translate well. If the mids aren't very present, it's not gonna translate well, because you kind of want the sound to jump out the speaker, and where it jumps out at the speaker is that mid area. Now, going back to Isolate, there are 5 areas, which is the lows, low mids, mids, high mids, and highs. I honestly think that's perfect. I don't think you would need anything more or less. I think that's literally what is required if you're going to be using or making a plugin like this. Very helpful. Now, I know this one's slightly shorter than what I usually put out, but that's going to be it for today. Peace.